Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet. Welcome to Friday Fun Live, but it's not Friday, it's Saturday. So I hope I'm not confusing everybody. It's been it's been quite a ride the past couple weeks, really. So I'm really hoping you all had a wonderful Christmas. Happy New Year, happy Hanukkah, however you celebrate. I just hope it was wonderful and blessed. We have been so busy here. It was really, really hopping. So thank you for the freedom and the grace to be able to just skip last Friday. Although I would love to have been with you all, to be honest with you. We had a house full of people. I lost track of how many meals I cooked for 10 plus people. Um, and trying to keep a 16-month-old safe in a house that's not really childproof was really, really exciting and fun. So I hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful time. Um, I guess most of you, if some of you, if you are in the southeast, let's try that again. Those of you who are in the northeast part of the country, if you're paying attention, you need to be paying attention because we're going to be getting a lot of snow tomorrow evening. I'm reading through the chat and looks like some of you out west have already gotten some. I know my son and daughter in Pittsburgh were getting it all day yesterday. I guess it didn't accumulate much, but that's this wonderful, wonderful time of the year. And I just wanted to say, I think it's kind of in a way God's blessing to my daughter Hannah. Hannah, happy birthday. I'm not going to say exactly which day her birthday is, just for security reasons online and all, but it's coming up, and it looks like you're going to have about a foot of snow. So happy birthday. That's a better gift than I could have possibly come up with for you, my dear. All right. And right now we're broadcasting from South Carolina along the, not right at the coast, but near the coast. And where it is about 47 degrees, which feels really warm from the 26 degrees we started out with today. So I know that may not sound like much to some of you up in the north and up in Canada, but for this part of the country, that is frigid cold. So I'm kind of enjoying. It's kind of like having a summer break in January for me down here. All right. Well, let's go ahead. I just want to really talk a little bit more about the holidays, but I just wanted to go ahead and get right to the chat. You all have been so patient. Kelly, so glad that you're here. I'm sorry you're feeling bad. I'm also, yeah, struggling with a little bit of a cold. Feeling better today than I did yesterday. So good thing I didn't try the live yesterday. Although yesterday I was taking somebody to another doctor's appointment, so I mean, just didn't have time to do both. So, but Kelly, I'm really sorry to hear about your family news about your brother and nephew. I will pray that that resolves quickly and safely for him. I cannot imagine a situation like that. And Wanda, so glad that you're here. She's going in disguise under her husband's computer name, the Reverend Norman H. Gordon Jr., DMIN. I guess was his doctor of ministry. Wow. So welcome, welcome, Wanda. And Michelle, so great to have you here. She says, hello, everyone. Great to catch you live. Snowy and 14 degrees in Montana today. So she's already getting the snow that my family will be getting back home tomorrow evening. So it looks like it's going to be quite a bit. I've seen the weather advisory. They're probably advising everybody to stay put, especially, excuse me, especially because this could involve ice. So remember, one of my favorite pastors used to say, we're not afraid of snow, but ice we respect. And it reminds me when Hannah was born, coming up on 30 years ago. Wow. Um, and I remember I spent the night in the hospital by myself without visitors. Even my husband couldn't get in because of the ice storm that was raging right outside my window. So it's that time of the year. And I will say this, it was a really good time of the year to be pregnant because it was cool outside and wasn't super hot. And yes, I do remember that. It's been a while. I do remember. All right. Thank you guys for taking care of Kelly with your prayers, Phil and Wanda. Thank you so much. And Phil, so glad to have you here with us. He says, "Happy New Year, everyone. I hope this finds you all healthy, wealthy, and wise." Yes, indeed. Um, he also says it's a cold, blustery 23 degrees here in the Catskill Mountains today. Got about an inch of snow last night. Light, fluffy, powdery stuff. So I'll get to shovel it again and again. Yep, yep. If it's not the wet stuff near the freezing temperature, it's not going anywhere. And let's see, have Ola Joe in the chat, the crocheting sailor. You all should check out her channel if you get a chance. She's got a lot of fun little things that she posts here and there, and I think you'd really enjoy it. Um, just got a lot of. Okay, and we have Ekstrom in this chat. Good morning to see you. And Phil says, "Hello, how are things in Sweden?" Yeah, thanks for remembering where she is from. I get so confused on these things sometimes, but I imagine it's pretty cool there too. That's my guess. Um, and Ekstrom says, "Hello, Phil. Thank you for asking. We're fine, and there's a bit of snow. How are you managing?" Yeah, it's so great to see the chat with each other in this group chat with you all. And thank you, Cynthia, for being here. She said, "I almost missed it. Hello, all. I almost just missed your comment. I'm sorry about that." Yeah, I was watching that chat develop. It's kind of funny. He said, "Yeah, you were about 3 minutes early. Phil was right." So I try to be careful and punctual, at least in this. Maybe not in other things, but I do try to be punctual here. And Sandra Harper, good morning to you. She says, "Good morning and Happy New Year to everyone from Southern California." Wonderful, wonderful. I'd love to go back out there again. Hannah and I had a wonderful time while my husband worked hard for the family. We were out playing at Disneyland. It was so much fun. And okay, Phil says he's managing okay. I'm optimistic about the future with the new year and all. And we are continuing to pray for you too, Phil, with regards to your family and your mom and all with the losses that you've had. Hopefully, you get to the new year. Sometimes it's just kind of nice to kind of push into the next chapter. Um, Although we never forget, but you know what I mean. It's nice to have a fresh start. And Lisa, thank you for the pictures you sent me. I need to do something. I need to schedule them for next week. Thank you so much for doing that. And she says, "Hi, Bonnie and everyone. Sitting here working on the Christmas cable throw, loving the new style of cross cables." Well, thank you, Lisa. I am so glad you mentioned that because I wanted to put a little plug in for that on two counts. The yarn that I use for the Christmas cable throw, and by the way, Bonnie's Christmas cable throw is not just for Christmas, okay? You can take and change that color. You can use a red throw any time of the year, in my opinion. I love the color red. I drive a red car, um, my first and only, but well, actually, we used to have a red pickup truck. But anyway, um, you can use that all year long, not just for Christmas. And if you wanted to switch up the color, by golly, do it. Make it your throw. It could be a wonderful, how about a Valentine's Day throw? That's coming up right around the corner. And again, or you can just make it any color you want. And the reason I'm waving this ball of yarn around, paint boxes have paint box yarn. Wait, let's try that again. Lovecrafts.com is having a really wonderful sale. I did put my affiliate link in the video description below. Doesn't cost you any extra to use it. I get a little bit of credit when you do that, but it doesn't cost you any more, I promise. They're having a fantastic sale right now. It's the best of the year. Ha ha ha. We just started the year, but it is actually one of their better sales. If you buy, let me just read the ads so I don't get this wrong. Okay, you get 20% off when you buy 5 balls, and I think this is of any yarn on their site. You get 40% off when you buy 10, I guess, or more. And the only thing you have to do is when you check out, you need to put this code in there. It's just balls, BALLS, all caps. That's all you have to do when you check out. Let's see. It says mix and match different yarns, shades, and then it does say from this page. Okay, so they may have limited it to certain yarn, but I do remember seeing this on the list, which is the Paint Box Simply Aran. It is one of the ones that you can get 40% off if you buy 10 or more. I think if you spend $65 or more, you get free shipping. So what's not to like about that? and and I believe the Christmas cable throw took, I think it's 19 balls of yarn, or you can round it up to 20. That is, it's around 20 balls of yarn. Now I'm having a brand new throw. Let me go ahead and just dovetail into this, and then I'll get back to the chat. I used 24 of these for this throw, and this is the throw that's coming on a Monday to the public YouTube channel. And I am calling this my Wild Irish throw. It's larger than the usual throw. And let me just show you the different cables. Just repeat the wavy cable, which is a newer cable, and the double. Actually, it's a triple twist cable. It's like the cable that we used in the cardigan, the Colossae cardigan and vest, but this has three times the cable in the middle twist before the entire cable twist. So if you can see that. I have added, of course, there's a complete video tutorial for right or left-handers. And in the written pattern, there will be, did I release this yet? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. There will be a stitch diagram for the cables, just to try to bring clarity to that for those of you who like stitch diagrams. Now, if stitch diagrams just confuse you, just skip over it. Don't get confused. Just stick to what you know. Stick to the video. So let me get some stats on this for you. I should have brought this up earlier. Give me a minute here. Let's do that. Okay, where did it go? Isn't that funny? You're trying to find something and you just can't find it. The color and name of the yarn. Okay, well, let me show you that again. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll have to look up the sizing on that one in a bit, but let me go ahead. This is color number SA65. Let me go ahead and let you look at that. This is Paint Box Yarns, Simply Aran. And you're going to need about, I think it's 24, let's see, 24, 48. So that's about 4,800. Wait a minute. 200 times 24. That's 4,800. So you'll need approximately 4,800 yards. If you don't like this yarn, that's fine. Source yarn from your local stores or wherever you prefer. And if you want to do Red Heart or any Caron, whatever is your favorite yarn, that's fine. But you're going to need about 4,800 yards, okay, for this particular throw. And again, this is a number 4. Is there a number 4 here? Yeah, there's a little sign there. This is the number 4 weight. That's a U.S. Thing, a U.S. symbol. I know a lot of countries outside the U.S. don't use that, which is too bad. So it's an Aran or a worsted weight yarn. All right, so I hope I was clear on that. And I believe it's about 66 inches long. This is a long one. This is a bigger, wider throw. Excuse me. I always get people asking me for, how do I make it longer? Well, maybe you don't have to make this one longer because it's already longer. If you want to make it longer, you just repeat the motif. And if you get to that point, you'll understand how to do that. Okay, let me try to look that up. My computer was not bringing up the pattern. Let me see. It's going to take me a second here. My computer is working very hard. Okay, there it is. It's hiding it right there for me. Okay, the throw. Okay, go ahead and let's see. It's approximately 52 inches wide and 66 inches long. Okay, 52 by 66, and that's in inches. So that's a wide throw. Usually, when I've designed throws for yarn companies, they want them 45 inches by 55 inches, which is why a lot of them are on the small side. It's not because I wanted them that way, it's because that's what the industry prefers. This one's 10 inches wider, 55 inches long, 66 inches, well, 55 inches wide, about 52 inches, sorry, 52 inches wide, 66 inches long. So that's at least 10, 11 inches longer than the usual. All right. All right. Thank you, Hannah, for those questions. So let's go ahead and get back. Oh, and also just in regards to this, it's already up on the Watch channel. So if you're a Watch subscriber, thank you very much for being a Watch subscriber. The pattern is there. If you see, if you look it up from the beginning of the site, and you'll see the video. And if you scroll down, or I guess look down below that, you'll see a little thumbnail that'll say PDF. And if you just click on that, you can automatically download the complimentary PDF. It's all there ready for you. It's been there for a couple days. So I just want you all to have priority on all these things that come down the pike. What's the Watch channel if you're new? It is a paid subscriber channel. It's $7.95 a year. We have not raised the prices in a couple years. And for the entire year, if you wanted to get a little bit of a discount of 2 months discount, it's $79.50, I believe it is, for the entire year. And so what do you get? You get to watch a lot of the content, most of the content that's on my YouTube channel, plus a lot of exclusive content that does not appear here. All the videos for Cable Crochet Made Easy that have not been publicly released are there. There are hundreds of patterns there that can be downloaded whenever you want them. Not everything has a pattern because I don't own the copyrights to everything from the past, but I do going forward. So whenever I release new things, you automatically get that as a complimentary part of the program. And every month I try to have a Zoom, either a teaching a class or a visit of some sort. This coming Monday, no, that's the throw. Let me look at my thing again. Okay, Wednesday, January 22nd from 2 to 4, I'm going to have an open format Zoom time, and it's basically going to be answering crochet and yarn questions. Any questions you have about yarn or crochet, we're just going to deep sea dive into that. I can demonstrate a stitch if you need that, or just clarify some things if you have any questions, or if you just want to hang out with a bunch of crocheters and talk shop. We'll definitely be doing that. So that'll be Wednesday, January 22nd from 2 to 4. Again, this is for the Watch subscribers only. I will be sending you the link through the Watch channel as the date approaches. So that's still a couple of weeks out. All right. Yeah. Did I cover everything? Yeah, and you can download the pattern for this right now. It's in both my Lovecraft store and in my Etsy store. And once you've purchased the pattern, you do have access to the video. I don't know if you knew that or not. If you purchase the pattern, let's say today, you don't have to wait until Monday for the video to be released. You just click on the QR code from your computer, from the PDF, and it will take you right to the video. So you can kind of get a jump on that if you want. And the links for those Etsy and Lovecraft store are both in the video descriptions below. Video description. There we go. All right. Let me get back to some of the chat here. Oh, yeah. Chandra. She says, I hope, good afternoon, everyone. I hope we're having a blessed new year. Yes, ma'am. And Alana wishes us a happy new year. And Esther, so glad you could join us, Esther. I hope you and Ron are doing well. Please tell him I said hey. And yeah, a lot of friends are wishing you, greeting you. So glad to see that. Yeah, thank you, Ola Joe. Wishing Hannah a happy birthday. I think I left my brain back in 2024 somewhere. Thank you guys for being so kind to Hannah. She is such a blessing to so many. It's so easy to forget that, as we go about our day. Um, but yeah, just really want her to be blessed. I know the kids had a lot of fun over the holidays, going out with her and spending the day. I stayed back so that I could be with Grandma Barker so she could go out. Excuse me. And I think they had a lot of fun. Um, oh, thank you, Ola Joe. She says that sweater and the color looks so beautiful. Oh, thank you so much. This is one of my favorite colors to wear. Also wanted to show you. Look at my necklace. I was so thrilled to get this. My husband gave me this beautiful ruby heart necklace, and apparently, the ruby is the July birthstone. So he just reappropriated it and made it an anniversary stone because we were married in July. So that was a lot of fun to get something like that from him. I have a couple other things to show you too. Um, oh, okay. So from Phil, Hannah sent me this. So I consider the superstars of the crochet world to be folks like Jean Leanhauser, Rita Weiss, Darla Sims. Just wondering if you have ever met or interacted with them, and if so, what was your experience? Um, I have not. I know Jean Leanhauser has done work with the Crochet Guild. She may have been at a conference that I attended, but I didn't know who she was. I have not met Darla Sims. I would like to because I have a lot of her books as well. I have interacted with others. I don't know if you've, I actually kind of friends with some of the others that are out there. And I tell you what, they're just regular, normal people, just trying to pay their bills and do the next thing, just like you, Phil. I mean, just, yeah, Jean, yeah, Leanhauser. I think she helped start the Crochet Guild of America. Um, I could be wrong about that, but I know she did a lot of stuff in the early publications, in the 60s, I think in the 70s, I guess primarily, um, back in the early days. Yeah, yeah. And I know Darla Sims has a lot of really excellent stitch leaflets, different stitch diagrams, and what is it I'm trying to say? Stitch dictionaries is what I'm trying to say. She's been one that has invented a lot of stitches, and a lot of people have benefited from her work, including me. So yeah, I have not. I'm trying to think. Have you ever heard of Doris Chan? I know Doris Chan. I see Tiffany Hansen, and she's, I know, a lot younger, wouldn't be a part of this crowd, but yeah, the one person I really wished I could have met is Annie Og, who is, I guess, the one crocheter that I was super inspired by, from her leaflets when I was a teenager. She, of course, has passed away, so I, not able to meet her. I tried getting in touch with her family, but I have not gotten any response. Probably thought it was some crazy internet person, so I totally get that. Let me tell you about another person who is very, very influential in my life. And for Christmas, this is another gift that I got. I got this from my daughter-in-law. This is a book that I didn't even know existed. It's called Heart of God. I'll read the title, 31 Days to Discover God's Love for You. This is by Elizabeth Elliot. Now, and I'll show you a picture of Elizabeth Elliot. I actually bought this for myself recently for, kind of my Christmas present, from some extra money. This is being Elizabeth Elliot. She's really probably my main hero in the faith. Um, I don't know if many of you are familiar with her. She is the woman who was married to Jim Elliot, who was martyred in by the Alca Indians back in the 1950s. They went in to share the gospel, the love of God, with this primitive tribe. And anyway, the way it turned out, they were all kind of martyred. Well, Elizabeth went in with her 2-year-old daughter within a year or two, and went in and lived among these very people. And Who could do that, right? But and taught them the love of God, demonstrated the love of God, and was with them for a couple years out there in the middle of nowhere. So anyway, she has written many books. She's a woman who has suffered much in the course of her life. She passed away in 2015. Makes me so sad. Um, I was blessed to be able to meet her 3 times during the course of over the years. She came to my home church in Maryland twice, and she actually came to my home church when I was living up in Massachusetts once, because she lives up in Massachusetts, and all the times I got to hear her speak. And she's just very inspirational, very human. She'd be the first to say, I am far from perfect. I'm not, this bronze statue that you just worship. She would not appreciate that at all. Anyway, all that to say is I started reading this week. It's got like, maybe take you 5 minutes at the most to read through just the day's reading. And then it'll take you, through the entire month, one reading a day. So I'm really looking forward to going through this. I've started it, and it feels like I'm reading a letter from a friend. It's so personal to me. Um, anyway, I have a link. I'm not trying to push this on you if this is not your thing. But if you're looking for a good way to start the year, I highly recommend this. And the copy that my daughter-in-law gave me is just very special. And as soon as I read it, a couple of days worth, I went ahead on Amazon and I ordered 4 or 5 more so I can give them away to my friends when I come in touch with people. And was able to give one to a crochet friend. What's today? 2 days ago. 2 days ago, it was a Thursday, was able to give one to my friend who lost her husband after Christmas on the 27th. So we I have a verse for this at the end, but started the year off going to a friend's funeral, helping her to bury her husband, quite literally. and that was quite an experience. But anyway, was able to at least give her a copy of this when she's ready to just kind of get a hug, spiritually speaking, as you start your day. So anyway, so much going on here. Oh my goodness. It's one. Okay, it's Wanda. Okay, happy birthday. I thought it said it was Wanda's birthday, but you're telling Hannah happy birthday. Thank you so much, Wanda. And all y'all just greeting Hannah like that. Esther says it's 32 degrees in New Jersey. It's cold here. Yep. I was looking at the my little app in my phone, and it was like 23 degrees before we went live in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Excuse me. And Hannah, thanks you all for the birthday wishes. Thank you so much. Ekstrom was wondering if I'd be able to read a few words from the Elizabeth Elliot book. Oh, I'll try to. Let me see. Okay, I'll read one of her posts. Whew. Okay. And also, let me just show you. It has a little verse. Has a verse from the scriptures, and she has a writing, and then she also quotes other famous people or excellent quotes from people that you might know, and then a small prayer at the end. Very, very easy. Let me just read through this one. I read this earlier today. Have you ever been in a position where something unjust happened to you? All of us could probably raise our hands. Have you ever been unjustly criticized or wrongly accused? And then have you wondered what you should do about it? Sometimes the best thing you can do is turn matters over to God. Why? Because the heart of God is just, and God always makes things right in due time. There has never been a time when God was not a just God. Moses said it this way to the people of Israel: ascribe greatness to our God. He is the rock. His work is perfect, for all his ways are justice. A God of truth and without injustice, righteousness and upright is he. That's from Deuteronomy 32, 3-4. Moses was convinced that God was a God of justice, and we too must be convinced of that fact, even though we might not always see that justice at work. Sometimes you get cheated. Sometimes things happen in your life that you can't understand. Sometimes you say, God, don't you see what they're doing to me? Sometimes you're just baffled and you become impatient, waiting for God to act. If so, be patient. Remember that God's timing is not our timing. If we had our way, we would balance the books of justice much sooner than He does. Truthfully, we should probably be more cautious in our calls for God's justice. None of us would fare very well if He were to immediately enforce justice for every act of sin or evil. Make no mistake about it, though, God's heart is set on justice. The books will balance. We could depend on Him to set all things in order. Yeah. And there are other quotes and a prayer to go along with those thoughts. So, her writing is solid. It's not a lot of feel good fluff, if you know what I mean. It's not a, oh, you're wonderful, don't worry. I mean, it's not meaningless fluff. It's truth rooted in a righteous and wonderful and just God. So it's the kind of writing that, as a new Christian, when I was in college, a new believer, new to the faith, it was just a great way to start and to just ramp up quickly um, in faith, reading her works. But anyway, thanks for asking about that, Phil. Ekstrom. Thank you for asking about that. All right. Um, hey, Archer and Ace, it's good to see you in the chat, and Kim. And Nancy, thank you for your well wishes for Hannah. And Kelly, thank you for the song. And Patty, Spirit of the Mountain, says Happy New Year from California. Well, welcome, Patty. And Felicia Weatherspoon, good afternoon to you, sis. So glad to have you with us. Um, and Patty says, have had 6 inches of rain in a short time, but no snow yet. Yes, we get snow in the mountains here. Oh, it's coming. It's a coming, I promise. Probably when you least expect it or want it, but I shouldn't say that, but it's a coming. And then Patty also says, yes, we had a very icy morning today. Yeah, those are the ones you have to really look out for. And thanks, Alana, for taking care of Kelly with your kind prayers. Um, and and Margita, good to see you in the chat. Says hello, Bonnie and Hannah, and wishing Hannah a happy birthday. Thank you. And thank you, Alex, for your kind words to Hannah. And oh, thank you. Says, sorry, you're under the weather. You definitely need to rest so you can recover quickly. Yeah, I am trying to rest. I'm not doing a lot. Trying to get a lot of work done on the computer. But yeah, definitely putting my head down here and there to get some rest. And Kim says it's going to be near 70 here today in West Texas. Enjoy it, Kim. Yeah, we haven't seen 70s in a while, but that's okay. And Felicia says we'll be getting mixed weather here in North Carolina tomorrow and Monday. Hey, Carlene says praying that your brother and nephew will be home soon, Kelly. Thank you, Carlene, for caring for Kelly. Oh, thank you, Ola Joe. You're so sweet. And Cynthia says the Saturday chat, what a pleasant surprise. Yep, only because I couldn't do it yesterday. Get that. Something that's bothering me. There we go. And CNY, Woman Knits and Crochet, says, hi, it's my first time catching you live. Well, welcome. So glad that you could. Sorry it took me a while to get to the comments. Got a lot going on. Thank you, Hannah, for welcoming everybody. And Esther says, I guess she's got to go. Unfortunately, I'm recovering from a concussion. So I've been dealing with migraines for the past couple of weeks now, but I'll rewatch the live video. Have a good day. Oh, sorry, Esther. I didn't know that you were dealing with that. I hope you get over that soon. Well, and I don't see the name of I guess it looks like L. Says 24, I guess is degrees this morning in McDonald, Tennessee. It's 37 now. Hope everyone's having a good day. Thank you. Um, and thank you, Cynthia, for your prayers. Uh, and Phil, you as well. And yeah. Red Hook says, hello, Bonnie, Hannah, and all my Yarny friends from a snowy Northeast Ohio. We have about 4 inches in the last 2 days. Whoa. Enjoy it if you can. I'll be probably going home to that in a few weeks, but we'll see. Uh, and Kelly says, are you doing any drawing this year? Yeah, I'm not sure who that's to, Kelly. Not sure about that. Um, yeah, and it looks like Esther. I don't know what happened with Esther, Kelly. I'll see if I can find out later on. Phil says that looks like a heavy, warm blanket. It is. Actually, I've kept it on the foot of my bed here down south, just not having a place to really store it since I'm away from home, but also because it got so cold. I was using it last night on as a top layer. Oh, good. Ekstrom says that I remember crocheting those twists, enjoyed it very much. Yay. Once you learn how to do it, it's not that terrible. It's very doable. But I will say, I should have said this early. This is not a beginning project. I mean, you probably know that. Um, but if you have some cabling experience, you know you need to know have an idea of how to cross cables using my system. And I have simpler projects than this that you can start on. Um, there's even a scarf that has a double twist instead of the triple twist. It's very similar. And if you can do the double twist, you can do this one. It's just carrying the stitches in the middle just a little bit, a couple more additional rows. That's all it is. Um, but it's the Innisheer Dreams of Innisheer scarf is one you'd want to look at if you wanted to get some practice, or you can just practice swatching with some extra yarn to see if you even like the cabling system before you start working on it. And Sandra says it's out of stock. That's a bummer. I hope it's not the green color, but anyway, you can use any color, any shade of green. You can use any shade of anything really for any of these throws. So yeah. Oh, okay. She says yes. I'm talking about giveaways. Okay, that kind of a drawing. Sorry, Kelly. I am slow to the. I don't have anything today. But if I do get something, I will let you know. Oh, I have to show you all. I forgot this. This is the other thing I got after Christmas. Did you see this on my thumbnail? What do you think? Do you see it yet? It says crochet. Where are the crochet hooks? It's a pair of knitting needles. Um, my kids sent me a picture of this. They were out shopping. I didn't know where it came from. I found in the bag. It came from J.C. Penney, and it was on clearance. It was regular $16 is the retail, and they paid like $4.99 or $4.95 or something like that for it. I told them, yeah, bring it home. I would love to have it. So I think Hannah and Molly, my future daughter-in-law, saw this, and when they first sent me the picture of it in the little text, I thought, oh, that's so cute. I didn't even look at it. I saw crochet, and I didn't even see the needles in there. So, and then when I realized, they're like, is there anything wrong with it? And I looked at it, I'm like, oh, that's not right. And so I definitely want that. That is just funny to me. So this will go on my Christmas tree next year. Oh my goodness. To think that people invested money in making those and still didn't connect the dots on that. It's just funny to me. All right. Well, Sandra, I hope maybe there's some other yarn on the site. The getting back to the yarn that may be out of stock. They do have sales later on, but there might be some other yarn on there that you like, or another blend or something. I don't know, but I know that 10 ball for 40% off covers a lot of different yarns on their site. Pardon me. Oh, and Happy New Year to you too, Maria. All right. So And Alex, I know that we've already answered the question, but just in case someone's coming in for the first time, the size of this blanket is 52 inches wide, 66 inches long, just to let you know that. And thank you, Carol, for the birthday wishes for Hannah. And thank you. Yeah, I thank you for the wishes for me to feel better soon. Yeah, I feel, yeah, I feel, it's just one of those things. You just got to push on. Hmm. And Phil says, have y'all noticed how much of the yarn these days is hand wash and lay flat to dry? What is up with that? Hmm. That's probably because there are more natural yarn fibers available. If you buy something that's wool or superwash merino, um, baby alpaca yarns, uh, some of the higher end yarn will always be um, hand wash, lay flat to dry, just because it's natural fibers. Now that you said that, let me take a look at the acrylic. These acrylics are not like that. Yeah, this is machine washable, dry low, uh, and a dryer on low. Although if you wash it in a like a front loader, and usually if it's rinsed pretty well, you can just put it somewhere to dry in the air. It might be better than putting it in a dryer where it will rub against each other, and that's going to cause the increase in the little knot things that get on it, the fuzz stuff. Okay, what was the 10 ball of yarn deal? Okay, Jet and One wants to know. This is on lovecrafts.com. If you look in the video description below, I do have a link for that, I believe. There is a link, and the code is balls, all caps, BALLS, and you have to put that in at checkout. Make sure when you look at the site that the yarn that you're looking for qualifies for that discount. Okay, if you buy 5 balls of a yarn, you get 20% off the total price. So what's not to like about that? It's a really good deal to start the year off. Um, And Michelle says, I'm loving to throw more and more as I look at it. I think my works in progress may be backburnered so I can start it. Uh, all right. And Cynthia, I'd have to look at that, Cynthia. It says it only works if you buy the balls of yarn individually. I don't understand. Um, yeah, I think you have to buy 10. Yeah, I don't know how it works, but definitely, I think if you buy them all together, I think that it applies, and you can always contact the customer service if you're not sure, but I'm pretty sure if you want 10 of one color, that qualifies. And certainly 20 or 24 of a particular color would qualify as well. Uh, Let me back up here. Um, and Kelly says, okay, L, excuse me, I don't have a name there. It says, yes, I used to listen to Elizabeth Elliot on the radio when coming home from work. Yeah, she used to have a program many years ago. Huh. Well, I wonder, Hannah's saying that, Cynthia, that you've tried and it didn't work. Did you try putting in the code? It may be at checkout that it changes it. Well, or maybe try it. I don't know. But that is the deal that they're offering. That is the deal. So I would contact somebody in customer service then if it's not working for you. Um, And Kelly says, that's a gorgeous blanket. I'm thinking about making one. Can you change the colors on that blanket? You can change the colors on anything. I would be careful about getting um, Yeah, I don't understand what that means, Hannah. I think she just is just gonna have to try contacting someone in customer service on that. Excuse me. All right. Yeah, Kelly, you can change colors, but um, I'd be careful about getting too complicated with color on a blanket like this. I know people have done it. Um, and you could even consider doing, just the cables themselves a little different color. It's going to be a lot of changing of colors. Um, you also want to be careful when you have a lot of texture like this, if you introduce a lot of color changes as well. It does confuse the brain when you look at something like that, because then too much is going on, and I think it distracts from the texture. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you something in a little bit, but you just want to be careful on getting too fancy with the colors of the yarn with some of these texturized things. I mean, you can do it. The real slow changing color yarns work well. Ones where they change a lot and you don't even see the texture, I would just I kind of guard against that. You can experiment with it and see what you think, but a lot of times I think it just is like too much noise. It's like trying to watch two TV channels at the same time. And I know they have TVs where you can do that. My brain says no, I'm not going to do that. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on that, Kelly. And there are reasons for that, and just the way the brain and the eyes process the color. All right. And Kelly Miller, Happy New Year to you. And Swati, it's good to see you in the chat. She says, here to say for a hi for a hot second for once. Happy New Year's, y'all. Happy New Year's to you, Swati. I hope you and everybody, your mom in particular, I know that you're caring for her. I just hope your health is holding and everything. Um, and Susan B, good to have you with us. Uh, and Nessa, good to have you in the chat today. Cynthia Burke, okay, we're talking about the code there. We'll just have to figure that one out. But anyway, uh, yes, Swati, it is. We're in the ballpark of Hannah's birthday. We're not going to go into specific dates just for security reasons, but yeah, we are in the ballpark for Hannah's 30th birthday. So really excited for her. Um, Okay, and yeah, Beverly and Dorothy. Beverly says newbie here in Oregon. Well, welcome, Beverly. So glad you could join us. And you too, Dorothy. And love the craft. Waving right back at you. Hello on a Saturday. And L says East Tennessee is due to get snow, which is unusual. Bonnie L is for Linnell. Okay. Yeah, I need the prompts, I guess, on this, but yeah. So Linnell. All right. And let's see. Oh, thanks for the reminder of the thumbs up. Thank you so much. She says, I'll have to catch the beginning a bit when it's over. Thank you, Susan B. And Jet One in, great to have you with us. And Love to Craft says, sending healing vibes to Esther. Thank you so much. And Norma, thank you for your kind comments. And Phil and Cynthia. Um, and Kelly says her birthstone is it citron? Huh, okay. Um, yeah. Uh, And Phil's talking about the hand wash stuff, says even certain cotton balls is hand washed. It makes no sense. Unless it's Egyptian cotton. I don't know. Even that, you throw that in the washer and the dryer. That's why you get the fancy cotton for sheets, right? Um, okay. And we have John. Is it Johnny Simmons? It says, hi, Bonnie and mods, crochet friends, Joni from, if I'm saying that, is it Johnny or John? Okay, I'll say Johnny from Georgia. Well, welcome. Uh, And Ekstrom says, if anyone is sensitive to wool, I can say that contrary to claims, superwash merino is better than alpaca. At least that's what it's like for me. Merino is cheaper too and easier to wash. Yeah, merino is nice. I will say that you need to be careful on when you buy this. Sometimes it's 100% merino. Sometimes I've seen a lot more of the 75% merino, 25% nylon, which I think it's for strength that they add the nylon, but it also makes it a little, just a little scratchier, or at least some that I've noticed has not been as soft as the 100% merino. But yes, I use it all and enjoy it very much. Um, and Kelly Miller says, Hannah, my oldest son turns 30 in early May. 1995 was a good year. Yes, it was. Um, and Dorothy, the pattern for the blanket, there is a link in the video description. I have it both at my Etsy store and my Lovecraft online pattern stores. Um, and thank you, Swati, for your kind comment. She says the new throw is so gorgeous, but you don't want to see my to be worked stash of yarn. I'm actually embarrassed about how huge it is. It is materials for your work, Swati. Uh, you're fine. I have two rooms that I use that I work in from home, but we're all good. And Swati says, if anyone has seen Friends and knows about Monica's messy closet, yeah, well, that's me, except with yarn. I'll have to look that up online. I'm not familiar with that. Um, and Joni says, hi, Hannah. I'm getting over having 4 tubes of blood drawn yesterday for testing. Not happy. Yeeks. Did they leave you any, Joni? Wow. I know my mom used to wonder, it's like, wonder about that when she would get her blood drawn years ago. And Amy Smith says, as for color, thinking, believe it's called heather type yarn would work. Yes, where the dye is not the same throughout. Thinking it would add more texture without blowing your brain with color change. Oh yeah, some of the heathered yarns are beautiful. I think that would be fine. I'm talking like when you have a hard change, in color. And if it happens real fast and you get kind of a marbled look to it, your brain will just implode. It just, or at at best, it will not. Your hard worked, your beautiful cabling will not be seen. Oh, Swati, definitely. If I'm ever in the LA area, I will definitely look you up, my friend. I will take you out to lunch. Um, if we ever get out that way. Don't know when. I'm hoping for a trip to Texas this year, but I'm still waiting to see if my classes will be picked up. If the classes are not picked up, I will not be going even that far. But yeah, I would love to go back to LA. And actually, San Diego was really nice too. Um, and Johnny says, I love the green blanket in the background. Came in late. What is the name of the blanket? Okay, this is going to be released. I'm reviewing. This is My Wild Irish Throw. Are you singing the song? If you're old like me, you'll be familiar with the My Wild Irish Rose, that song. Well, that's kind of what inspired the title. But this is in my Lovecraft store and in my Etsy store right now. It will be released publicly on the YouTube channel on Monday. At least that's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. Um, and Swati says it was tough to get it to fit in the closet. It is literally full to the rafters. Oh boy. And Phil says Ginger from Yarn Geek has the biggest yarn stash I have seen. Yeah, wow. I always tell people you'd be disappointed to see my yarn stash because it's pretty orderly. And I don't say that in a boastful way, but I want to keep my good yarn protected. Um, I do have some special batches of yarn that I've purchased different special places I've been able to travel to, and still just waiting for the right idea for that. Um, I guess I have a good bit of yarn, but it's nothing to write home about, and it's probably not going to compete with any of these other internet YouTubers. Let me show you another design that is coming. I've showed this to you in the past, but this is hopefully coming on January 20th. This is called Sapphire Soliloquy Scarf. It is made with fingering weight yarn, and I use the gradient yarn set. It has 5 different colors of blue. So it starts here. It's about 60 inches long total. It's a nice wrap scarf. And I love the weight of this. And this has a new style of cabling where one cable works 4 post. This is a nine stitch twisted elongated cable, I think is the name I gave it. So you have one side is twisting and the other side is not. Um, so that was really fun. I finished up the pattern today and it is off to my editor, just waiting for the editor to get it back to me. This will also have a complete video tutorial. Now, this is one of those projects. I'll let you know when this releases where you can get the yarn. The yarn company is called Frogget Yarns. Yeah. And I found her at the Frederick Fiber Festival. And she has a van and it's beautiful yarn and it's not cheap. It was, I think, about $75 for the kit. Now, before you faint on that, you don't have to use the exact yarn that I use. You can use maybe leftovers of fingering weight yarn that you have. That's what this is. It's fingering or sock weight. Another idea is if you want to make it a super scarf or a large stole or wrap, you can upsize the yarn to whatever you have in your stash. And you maybe wondered, what am I going to do with this yarn? I bought all this yarn and I don't know what to do with. Maybe make something like this. If you use larger yarn, just upsize your hook to match the yarn and you're good to go. I'm actually doing this with a design that I released a couple years ago. This was the Rahab scarf, which was made with fingering weight. And I'm really enjoying this. Hannah found, I think I told you, I'll show you the yarn I'm using. It's no longer available. It's out of, I would say out of print, not out of print. It's no longer in production. This is just a fancy pants kind of yarn. It sold originally for like $20 for one of these. Hannah got a box of about, I don't know, 30 of these for $5. And so I've had this, it's just the worsted weight, which is the same weight as this. And so I took a scarf that was made like this with fingering weight, and I'm working it now in a worsted weight. And I mean, this is fun. And this is going to come out really nice. I've still got more to work on. I got lots of strands to hide, but it's more of a stole or a wrap that's going to be very, very nice. And I could even stop now, but I'm gonna do this so it's a little bit longer so that I can actually wrap it and maybe even stick a pin here or some of the jewel designs, connectors, and you just wear it. This is going to be fun. So anyway, so that's my idea, because I don't want you all to ever feel like I don't want you ever to feel like I'm using you guys in any way, shape, or form, to say that, oh, you need to buy this particular thing or this particular yarn or whatever. No, you don't have to do that. It was many years that I crocheted before I even got into fancier, more expensive yarn. And just about all the yarn that I learned to crochet with was acrylic. And I'm not ashamed of that. I mean, that's where most of us start. And, I was just a kid and I couldn't afford more than a couple dollars, or even $1 was a lot. I remember growing up. I remember asking my mom for $1 so I could get one more skein of, it wasn't Red Heart. It was before Red Heart. It was Wintuck. You remember the brand Wintuck that I would get at my GC Murphy dime store? And so I just want to let you know that these patterns that use the higher end yarn, they're also available to whomever. The instruction is going to be available on YouTube for no cost. And if you want to just use, leftover yarns, whatever, you can definitely do that. And you can change up the color and you still see the texture. This is actually probably a good kind of ties into what Kelly was talking about. So you can change the color, but it was just a very gradual change. And this kind of works. Now, if it was changing every couple, inch or every few inches in the yarn ball. That's what I was more cautioning you about, just saying, yeah, that's not going to work. So and Joni wants to know, are both the blanket and the scarf available to watch members? Yes. Both this has not been released yet. This will be coming later in January, but the watch folks will be the first to get it. And when I release it there, and also the watch videos, it's all ad free. There's no ad, there's no spam. You're not tracked or any of that stuff. Um, you'll get this before it goes public. And when I put the video up there, you will also have the PDF that you can download, the complimentary pattern. Whew, that was a lot of yakking, guys. Sorry. Uh, um, all right. Well, thank you, Nancy. I'm glad you all like the scarf and love the craft. Thank you. And Diana. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. And is it Nite? Niete. I'm sure it's a beautiful name. I'm probably not saying it right, but is it Nite? Anyway, uh, she says, cables are difficult for me. Yeah, they can be. What I would recommend is, if you're having a hard time with cables, I have an idea of a future project that I'll be coming out with, but you can look in my playlist and look at the headbands. There are a couple of headbands that you can make there that are a simple cable where you'll learn one cable to focus on. And I would encourage you to just, start small and use some, yarn from your stash. And, as Miss Frizzle used to say on a Magic School Bus, have fun, make mistakes, have fun learning. And it's okay to make mistakes and rip it out. Yarn can do that. Okay. And Amy wants to know, are there plans to put all your new Afghans in a book? No, that's a large project. I do have 3 leaflets, actually, if you did not know, Amy. If you go to Amazon.com and just plug in Bonnie Barker crochet books, you will see quite a few of my crochet books there. 2 of them are actually published through Amazon KDP program, the 4 Seasons of Cable Crochet Throws and also Celtic Cable Throws. Those are my 2 most recent books. Each of them has, I think the first has, the Seasons book has 6 throws in it, and I think the Celtic Cable Throws has 7 in it. Those are available on Amazon. Once I get back home to Maryland, which will be probably not till the end of the month, I will add some of these physical books back into my Etsy store where I sign them and send them out. There's also another one you can get from Amazon called Erin Afghans to Crochet, which is actually my very first publication ever, published back around 2009. I finished the items in 2009. So I don't know what the actual publication date is. It's either 2009 or 2010. But there are 3 booklets that you can get these projects with. Now, I do have a couple of newer throws that are not in any of those booklets yet, but I may compile another one in the future, but don't have plans for that today. I'm actually working on doing just that, though, with the scarves and shawls. It'll probably have, I don't know exactly how many, no more than 10, but it's going to have a combination of shawls and scarves. And as you know, a lot of these, and I'll show you one right here, a lot of these shawls and scarves can be worn either way. It can maybe be worn as a shawl, as a scarf in the front to keep you warm, or you could put it around your shoulders. I finished a brand new one. I haven't shown this to you yet. I hope you like it. This yarn is by a company called, actually, it's a small company, an indie dyer called The Yarnsmith. You can look them up, just The Yarnsmith, if you want to. And I'm calling this my Phoenix shawl. And just to answer Kelly's question, I am combining a very crazy. Well, I'll just show it to you. Okay, this is the Phoenix shawl. Okay, I have not been able to block it yet. This is not showing there. There we go. I have not been able to completely block it yet, but these are, there 3 different colors I used. Um, I'm using the honeycomb stitch, using the blue, and you can even tell that it looks better in the lighter color, but I still like the way the blue came out. And then this color that ties it together is a very crazy yarn changing color. And you notice that when I used this color, I just worked rows of double crochet because I didn't want to try to add a texture like this. I was already cutting it kind of close with some of the texture or the color in this hand dyed yarn. But when you look at it up close, it really does work. And I just had so much fun working on this, and it's very large. And you can make this, wear this as a large scarf, which would be fantastic if it's super cold out and you don't want to put a bunch of, hot sweaters on that kind of heats you up. You can just wear a scarf in the front, or even just, put the shawl around the shoulders. And let me get it even there with the color. There we go. So it's even a little too warm in here for this, but this is just so much fun to do. And I finished the video. I need to edit the video. I finished filming. So I just need to edit the video. And this will be one that'll probably be coming. I don't have a date yet when I'm going to release this, but it will be coming sometime before or around the spring. Okay. And again, the yarn that I use is from a gal in Pennsylvania, and it's called the Yarn Smith. Her name is Donna. So, Donna, thank you so much for working with me on this yarn. This is a collaboration that I'm doing with her. So, looking forward to that. Let me look at my list here, see if I got everything. Wow, I think I did cover my list. Let me just make sure I haven't missed anybody in the group chat. Ekstrom says, oh, thank you. She says, I too love fingering weight. Oh, thank you, Nancy. I'm glad you like the scarf. And Diana, again, thanks for the kind comment. Ooh. And Swati had to run. She's got a quick weekend trip to San Diego, but I hope y'all are well. I'm loving all the new patterns. I need more time to crochet. Yep. Yeah, that's what you can tell people. And I had a t-shirt made of that. Oop, I didn't show you guys my shirt. Where'd it go? I should have led with this. I hope you like this. I had wanted to do this for a long time. So I designed another shirt. This is in my Teespring store. What do you think? It says, I don't run marathons. I crochet them. And the 26.2, you see those signs on the back of people's cars. Oh, I run a lot, Well, good for you. I wish I could, but my knees say, no, you're not going to run a lot. But anyway, and yes, if you follow the Bonnie Bay Crochet channel and you crochet everything on my channel, you will crochet a marathon, which is over 26.2 miles worth of yarn. But a lot of you, I know some of you crochet Afghans for charity. I know you do more than that. You probably do a couple of marathons or more a year because you're always crocheting. I know a lot of ladies crochet, baby blankets or prayer shawls, or just involved in so many different ministries. Friends of mine makes a lot of throws and lap blankets for veterans and people who are homebound. So, yeah. Cynthia wants to know, will there be a kit for the scarf? I know that I don't. If you're talking about either of them, I don't know yet. Now, if you attend a conference where the yarnsmith is available, is showing her yarn, she probably will be putting a kit together. So that's a good question. Now that I think of it, that's a good question. I will get back to you on that, Cynthia. I don't have any plans immediately, but we'll see. This vendor, I do not. I didn't get the feeling that she was that interested in working with me. But you can buy the yarn from her, and I will. This is when I bought this yarn. I bought that out straight. There's no collaboration on that. I just chose that yarn and paid full price for it. The yarnsmith, on the other hand, she would not take my money. She begged me to say, just take it and make something with it. And so this is definitely a collaboration with her. She was very happy to work with me, and I was very blessed by that. So I hope I answered that question. Okay. Um, Michelle says, LOL, I have a couple of skeins of Windtuck on my bookshelf as a display. Would not use it now. Oh, I, yeah, I mean that, yeah, it's probably, maybe use it for, I don't know, whatever, somebody, maybe your worst enemy or something. It probably is really scratchy and very plasticky feeling. I know that the I ran across an old ball of Windtuck, and it's like, "Eeh." I mean, it's old yarn. It's from the 70s. So, um, but anyway, I have a blanket I made from it, and it's fine. It's been washed a million times, and it went through my childhood, and it survived my kids. They all used it on their bed, and over my 5 different children over a 20-year period. So, I mean, the stuff lasts forever. Uh, all right. Amy Smith says, "Wow, scarf is beautiful. Love to know where to purchase affordable fingering yarn. Bought tweed yarn, misread the pattern, didn't buy enough. If I buy correct amount, would cost $90 for one scarf." Um, it depends. I know the yarnsmith. When I got this, I know she had yarn for like $20 a ball. Or a hank, I should say, because you wind it up. And that was for about 400, I want to say 400, it's either 430 yards or 460 yards. So it was a generous amount of yarn. I think the yarnsmith is less. Now, if you shop online, you might be able to find, some discounted yarns for that. Uh, yeah, I understand. That's why I say, Amy, when I show you things like this, if you have yarn already in your stash that's just even a little bit thicker, it's a different weight, give it a try. You don't have to have exactly what I have. And it's always fun to experiment. You can certainly just upsize, as long as you upsize your hook to go with it. And Cynthia says, I have a big Mad Tot. Yeah, Mad Tosh stash that scarf might be good for. Yeah, that would be beautiful yarn to use for it. Bought it during a live sale. Yeah. Yeah, and Nessa said that's a good idea about the headbands. Absolutely. Um, and Carol says to Hannah, the big 3-0, such a beautiful, young, beautiful soul. My 40th was the one that really hit me. Oh, tell me about it, Carol. 40 was a drag. Um, 50 was bring it on. And 60 was like, we're rocking. I think 70 is going to be fun too when I get there. Only 8 years or 8.5 years to go. So we'll see. Uh, oh, thank you, Nessa, to checking in on with Ola Joe. Uh, oh, thank you, Amy. She says, I think I have most of your books. The newer ones is what I was hoping for. Can't wait for your scarf project to come out. Well, thank you. I'll try to roll that out as soon as I can. And Joni says, Hannah, you and I are both January babies. Of course, you're a lot younger. uh, all right. I know I'm going over today, guys, but you know what? I missed you guys last week, so I'm just going to keep on going for a little while. I know if you all have to leave, that's fine. I'm sorry to be dawdling, but I'm enjoying this. All right. Michelle says, Hannah Barker, my brain feels 21. My body reminds me that I'm 56. Oh, yeah. I remember a dear friend of mine who passed away when she was about 83, 84. And when she turned 82, she said, I'm just 28 backwards. I remember her telling me we used to have such endearing lunches together. She lived in the same apartment building that I did in Rockville many years ago. And I remember when she would, She looked very frail. She was thin and she was definitely very old. You could tell she was in her 80s. But she had the most beautiful smile and she was just a dear Christian woman. And I remember her saying at one point, she said, I still remember exactly what it felt like, the emotions and everything to be 15 and 16 years old and just the sweet times that she had. And so, but I'm not telling you all anything you don't know. I know you know what I'm talking about, but that's, any of you out there that are on the younger side and you see us older aging people, be nice to us. We know what you're thinking. We know what it's like to be a teenager and to be cool, and we know what it's like to know everything. Of course, now we don't because we're older and we know better. But you know what I'm saying. So, but anyway, yeah, I totally get that. I totally get that, Michelle. That's so sweet. Thank you, Bernard, for your encouragement, and Cynthia and Nessa. Thank you. Y'all are so encouraging. Thank you, Ekstrom. She says very nice color combination. Yeah, I wasn't sure, because I was thinking of combining with another color, but I think this one, because this color changing yarn is just kind of an odd combination, but I think it really works with this particular shawl. Thank you. Jody says it has a desert air about it. Yeah, I mean, I just think of, the song by Dan Fogelberg, about a phoenix rising from the ashes, and that's just kind of what it reminded me of. It's got kind of a burned um, browns in this, um, and I just love that burnt orange color. Okay, the shirt. Hannah wants to know. Okay, I have a Teespring store. Okay, Teespring. There is a video link and a video description below where you can get one of these. I have other shirts there too, like um, the one that says "Got Crochet" in about 9 different languages. That's one of my favorites. And also the one of my other favorite to wear is the Key to Happiness, and then it's just the crochet key, what the abbreviations mean on the front of the shirt. So anyway, so yeah, I was going to wear this today, but it was a little cool, but I may have to change back into it. I also need to work off a little bit of that Christmas pie so that it doesn't fit too tight. But anyway, all right. Oh, Teresa says, good morning from a cold, blustery, wet Utah. Ooh, I bet it is cold out there. Thank you, Felicia. She says, that's a beautiful shawl, sis, Bonnie. Thank you. You're so sweet. And thank you for the thumbs up. Cynthia, if anybody wants to hit that thumbs up, looks like 46 of you have already. Thank you so much. And Peggy Smith says, I'm not a fan of orange shades, but this Phoenix shawl is absolutely gorgeous. Well, you know what, Peggy? I'm kind of with you because I can't wear the oranges, but I can wear that's why I started with the green, because if I wear this as a scarf, that's going to be closer to my face. So the blues and the greens I can do. The orange, if it was just the orange by itself, not so much. But it's always fun to try to find a new way to wear colors that I love, but I can't wear by themselves, or at least up against the skin. So yeah, I get that. Excuse me. Oh, thank you, Carol. She says beautiful blues, so calming. Yeah, on this one. Yeah, I'm a blue girl. I have to walk away from blues and greens because those are usually the ones that end up in my hand. So I always tell my kids, don't let me get the blues and the greens because I got plenty at home. But I couldn't resist on that one. And Crochet, a good book for those of us just I would actually recommend one of the other two. The main reason is I have complete video tutorials for all throws in the Four Seasons, the book, and the Celtic cable throws. I have complete online video tutorials for right and left-handers. For the Aran Afghans to crochet, that was published before YouTube was really off and out and really a thing. I do have one throw in there, the winter white throw that I did crochet a video. I did make a video for, so you can follow along. with that book. I mean, it's whichever. I would really encourage you, just whichever one that you like. Start with something that you like, because you're going to be spending a lot of time on it. I do have, on the flip side of that argument, if you want the Aaron Afghans, I'm not going to discourage you from that. That's a good book, I think. I do have stitch videos available on my channel under Aaron Celtic stitch videos. There's a whole playlist, so you can go and look at how to do the actual stitch for any of my books, even the ones that were published, before complete video tutorials were the expectation. But great question. Thank you for sending that to me, Hannah. Goodness, there's lots of questions. Amy Smith says, this is fun, but on Fridays I'm working, so catching this live is a joy. Thank you for creating this community. Oh, my joy, Amy. Actually, the pandemic helped, which was, it's a terrible thing to say, I guess, but during the pandemic, I think a lot of us there was not anything to do but to gravitate. You couldn't be with people, and that's really when we pushed into this. Let's see. Michelle says, I need that shirt. I walked a half a marathon for my 50th. I have the 13.1 sticker. Oh, that's excellent. I wish I could do that. I don't know if I could or not. More power to you, Michelle. That's wonderful. I do it with my hands. It just takes a year, not a day. All right. So, okay. Teresa and Cynthia have a great conversation going about the color of the yarn they're using. Johnny says, in 20 days, I will turn 80. Well, congratulate Johnny. I'm sorry, I keep saying Joni. I'm thinking of Joni Erickson Tata. Sorry, Johnny. Forgive me. Well, congratulations. And it's quite a milestone. Remember when my mom turned 80, we baked her a big tiered cake. It was so much fun to do, to bless her with that. Keep losing my way here. And again, the shirt is on the Teespring. There's a link in the video description. And Phil says, having been a truck driver for 30 years now, I'm around all these younger drivers. I don't walk fast, and these young whippersnappers just run on by like I'm sitting on a park bench. You should ask them sometime, what's the hurry? I'm with you, Phil. All right, so I answered that question. And Brenda Rayburn, it's good to have you in the chat. Says, hi, Bonnie. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. In Virginia, waiting for the storm. My birthday is tomorrow, and I may get to see a little snow. Well, enjoy it, Brenda. Hope you have your shovel and your sled ready. Hannah, you should have a sledding party for the kids if there's anybody in the neighborhood, or if people can get up to our house. We have one of the best sledding hills around. And Sean, is it Chandra? I'm so glad that you could be here with us. And thank you, Jane. Love your tutorials. I often watch them to have someone to crochet with. Oh, thank you all so much. Well, I am going to go ahead and wind up. I need to release Hannah so she can do something on this Saturday. Maybe go find all the snow shovels and get things ready. I did want to read a verse for you before we get going. I know it's not a super upbeat, cheerful, everything is great kind of a verse, but I think it's even better than that. Having gone to my friend's husband's funeral on Thursday, this verse came to mind, and I've been kind of meditating on it. It's from Ecclesiastes 7, verse 2, which says, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for this is the end of all mankind, and the living will lay it to heart. And so I just want to submit that to you all. It's a great verse to think about, and just to think about where your security in this world lies, because this world will end for all of us. and we don't know when that will be. And just really hoping for you all that your 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 heart is, rooted in the Lord Jesus Christ. That's what I believe, and have anyway. It just brings me much joy. And again, for those of you, just to reiterate, if you're looking for a good way to start the year, Heart of God by Elizabeth Elliot. I didn't mention it before, but this was found in her computer years after she had passed away. It was something that she had written up but never released. And so her daughter and some of the people from her foundation decided to go ahead and put this together. So that's why I said it's like reading letters from my friend who is with the Lord. It's just really, really kind of nice and comforting for me, and very encouraging. So, and in a way, I'm starting off 2025. Well, you guys have a wonderful week, and I hope to see you next week. God bless. Bye bye.